Man and Machine is brought to you by Highflex Mobile Hose Service, Shannons Insurance for Motoring Enthusiasts, and the following sponsors.
Yeah, baby!
It's unbelievable!
Now we're talking. Welcome to Man and Machine. We've found another car collection, but this time it's packed full of Holdens. We're here with the owner, Phil. Great to see you, mate. How about we check out some of these cars?
Sounds good to me, Glenn. Let's do it.
Phil, tell us about where your passion started with cars.
Oh, of course, teenage years. Having a brother Jeff, was he's 10 years older than me, so always followed the interest when his first panel van came home, right through to probably his third one, and V8, oh wow. And can I come for a ride? And of course then he went on to the GTR Tirana, so I took a passion for that, so I thought my first car would have to be an LJ Tirana. And of course red's the fastest car you can get, so it was a red 4-speed Tirana, and yeah, that was terrific.
And you do a fair bit of the work on the cars yourself. It's a bit of a family affair, isn't it?
All the work's done with myself and my son. Got a wifey I'm caring for, and she's got a long-term illness, so that takes precedence. The cars are a great passion. She's right behind me with it, and it's Ben and I, we do everything in-house. Of course we have to go out and buy things. I can't make everything, but yeah, so, and it's good fun. We have a lot of quality time together with it.
Obviously you made some really good choices back in the days when, in the good times as we call them, when you could buy these cars at the right price, and you put some in stock for a later time.
Yeah, well how was it? Like, I think, you know, even in the 90s you could buy an XU1 for $6,000 and it'd be a good car, or it wouldn't sell. And now, what would you pay for it? So I couldn't afford to do it now. And I'm so glad we kept them all.
So Phil, here's an XU1 with a bit of a twist. She's got some optional extras, I see.
Yeah, like a NASCAR, like Grandpa building it, really.
It is.
I mean, it's all open interest, isn't it? Age group for muscle cars. It wasn't just to hot them up, it was to have them in standard form as well. So we sort of thought, we just liked the fact that we don't see them around. Mud flaps, you know, original wheels and wheel trims, and sun visor, under dash tray, spotlights, and keeping it the original height. It just drives so smooth. It's just, you could drive around Australia. It's comfortable, it's reliable, it's predictable. We use this all the time. I take Jan out in it, have a cup of coffee, sit down in the water. And it's not the original car. Basically, all the ingredients were. I wrecked an original one years ago, and the body was really bad. I'm talking 25 years ago. You know, a dozen years back, we found a good body as a donor, and here it is today.
I noticed you've even got the newspaper on the dash there, an old newspaper. Tell me about that.
The newspaper wasn't something I searched for. It was Jan's parents. They collected the old newspapers and gave them to us one day. So I went through them and thought, oh, look at that, March 72 newspaper, the same month the car was made. You've got to have that. And on the back of the newspaper, the ads for the cars, Reg Hunt Holden, it's got a brand new HQ Statesman, buy it today, DeVille 350 cubic inch, $5,900.
Oh, wow, I would kill for that.
Oh, you would, so you would. Times move on.
Iconic car, Phil, A9X. Yeah. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah, I've had a few A9Xs all, you know, over time, but this one we bought when Ben was born, and bog stock, all standard, opaline blue. There's two made in this colour. And we did state that one day we'll do a replica of it, which we since have, that then when that happens, we'll sell this car purely for the reason that I don't like to use it. A great thing to own, very special.
It's a low kilometre car.
I want it very low kilometres, 49,000. We bought it at 41,000 kilometres. I don't know where we've done 8,000 k's over that time, but I'm glad we did, because you've got to keep these things moving. But it's funny in hindsight, or you know, like you look into a crystal ball type thing and look at your future. It's like maybe I knew, because I made the sign up for it, the A9X Tirana sign, for a little show in 1992. And people have been asking me, would you sell it? Oh, I don't know, what would you want for it? I don't know. I said, I'll probably sell it when it gets to 50,000 Ks, and that's pretty much what's going to happen because it's done 49,000 now. It is for sale. The other one's finished. Circumstances have changed in our life. I'm more caring now for wifey. It's time to move on and let someone else take over, but I'd like to see it go to the same interest. Don't modify it. Still got the original exhaust, the original brake pads, 49,000 Ks. She's naturally soiled around the engine, a few chips in the rocker covers, a few rusty bolts, as you would expect to see it. Love to restore it, but it'll probably devalue it. It's more of a museum piece.
So it's like it's been in a time capsule effectively, hasn't it? Really, a low-kilometre version of this car is so rare.
Never had a day in the rain since we've had it. She's still original, everything.
Yeah. Tell you what, mate, I wish I won the lotto.
Good to drive.
I'd own this thing in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it doesn't go real fast. Standard motor. That was the mistake they made. They should have followed the L34 motor through. Give it a bit more oomph. The first time I ever heard of an A9X was from my brother. He turned up at the family home to visit my father and myself in this yellow Tirana. Ugly, flares, skinny wheels. A9X. So I found my own one in the jasmine yellow, the brighter yellow. His was absinthe yellow. A few years later, that was my first car. And I did the hot up thing. The chrome engine bay, did it crazy. Put it in shows, sold it, moved on, got married. And as soon as I'm married, got to have another A9X. But I want the standard one.
HighFlex Mobile Hose Service, your complete hose breakdown and on-site service partner. HighFlex Mobile Hose Service offers a complete range of quality guaranteed hydraulic and industrial hose and fittings products. We also specialise in preventative maintenance programs such as on-site hose condition auditing, testing and compliance. With our national fleet of qualified technicians, you can rely on HighFlex Mobile Hose Service's rapid response to all of your needs. Call 1300 HighFlex, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Do you have a hydraulic background? Come and join the dynamic HighFlex team. Check out opportunities at www.highflex.com.au. Shannons Club, a hub for motoring enthusiasts. So join, create your own garage, share pics, videos and stories of your current and past machines, connect with other enthusiasts. Be sure to watch Shannons Club TV with a host of dedicated motoring channels, including past episodes of Man and Machine. So jump on board with Shannons Club. I'll see you on there.
Phil, here's a car that's a little bit close to my heart, and I've got to say I do miss it greatly. Give us a rundown on this machine.
Well, I was just wondering, should you be telling the story?
I probably could from the beginning.
You know, I remember you offered it to me, and then you went to the Grand Prix with Dad, and you saw the Group NC race, and you saw the HQ running, and you rang me up and said, you know what, we're going to do it. Sorry, mate. So that's all right, you should do it. And then about a week later, you rang up and said, nah, we'll break the gearbox. I said, well, don't have much power on it. He said, yeah, but I want all the power. I said, well, I'm not bothered. So, yep, Group NC, 400 horsepower motor, just got it out of the trading post. It's still the same block. It's had numerous rebuilds, of course, and this latest rebuild was done with Ben and I. It took us a long time. It's running fine, and still yet to be pretty much run in and have another go at the track, but just not getting there.
I reckon I could probably just about roll this thing into the shed next to the XY Project Warhorse, and a bit of a Holden Ford thing happened there. I'll be pretty happy. I put a lot of work into this car when I did the build, as you know, for the HQ Racing Series, and we had to dip the shell and we removed weight, and we really put a lot of... Oh, it was a beautiful mint one-owner shell that I got off an older gentleman, and it was a bit of a rough and ready class at the time. There was people that would sort of run into you in a heartbeat, and I didn't like that sort of thing. I like to look after my cars.
The paint job that was done on it was just fabulous. I think when we got it off you, there was a little dent there and one there, the other side. It was negligible, and to present it to Group N, I remember you turned up the first time we ran it, and we thought, oh, we can get a minute 29 with that motor. It was doing like 26s around Sandown.
It was great.
And you were there going, sitting on the back of my truck thinking, it's just insane the times you're getting out of that thing for the standard brakes and whatnot. And you wanted to buy it back then, I remember. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I wanted to race it in Group N Historic Racing because back in the day, Malcolm Ramsey had a lot of success in the Australian Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, exactly right. My brother did this for me, actually, and that's what we based it off, and hence, in its real form there, you see the photo here, that's Bob Jane, Beachy, all the greats there, but there's the HQ there with the Repco engine in it. And
I had a Formula 5000 engine in it in the day, and it was very, very fast. I saw that potential. I thought I'm going to go historic racing, but they would only let you use the Aussie four-speed gearbox, and they do fly apart. So I bailed. I got scared and bought the XY with the top loader and the 9-inch.
Yep. I
was a bit weak.
The strong stuff, and you know, then hence we put the orange on it to reflect the Malcolm Ramsey thing. We just didn't have it in our heart to paint the whole car orange, so we kept it the white and put the stripes on to reflect it. It's been a fun car there.
Phil, I have a feeling we're standing next to a very angry piece of machinery here. Give us a rundown.
Got decent power. There's no doubt about that. Dash 9s on it, stroker. Here's a stroker. It's probably a little bit heavier than what I could probably do in a competitive way. A lot of them are going for the LS engine, the alloy, a lot lighter. But the car's made of an iron V8. I wanted to keep it that way. And my dream was to get about a minute 20 around Sandown with it, a minute 50 at Phillip Island. And it's just hacking those times in bits. You know, we're way under 20 at Sandown 18s now, probably heading for 17, get it sorted a bit more. And
so it's a dedicated circuit car?
Dedicated circuit car. It's got the dog box, TKO 600 dog box, still running the original Borg-Warner Commodore Cup rear end, which worries me a bit. You know, nearly 600 horsepower going through, but you got to feed it on gently. Just don't hammer the drivetrain, just gently put it down, and you know. No, the only thing I'd dismiss is just don't look in the rear vision mirror to see the black licorice lines. I focus more what's going on in the front. That's where the race is.
So she lights the tyres up pretty good?
Oh, do it easy. Yeah, just got to feed it on, you know. So
you've got to hate that, don't you?
No brakes, stacks of power. No brakes, stacks of power. Every race driver's complaint, no brakes, too much power. But no, look, I'd actually have more power. It's that smooth. It's got about 470 foot-pound torque, and it was dynoed over about 600 horsepower, but they said a little bit sort of in risk mode there, but safe mode. I said if I can have 550 and 450 foot-pound, that's it, 24-degree total, it'll live all day.
Phil, there's a car I remember you for back in the early days that you were running around on racing circuits. It was a panel van, of all things. That used to stir up a lot of trouble.
It did. That comes up so many times, so many conversations. Probably 400, never dynoed it, probably 470 horsepower, top loader. Got it down to 53 flat at the island with canvas coming out of the old Hoosies on the day. I thought I'd better stop running it today, it looks dangerous. So yeah, that was funny. We were lined up in the Scrutineering Bay there once at the Pirate Sprints, and a fellow said to me behind, "Can I just jump in front of you while you wait for your car?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you're going to be towing a race car." I said, "No, I'm running the panel van." "Oh, sorry, I didn't realise."
I thought it was your tow car.
I thought I was towing something in. So, still got that car. I can never sell it.
Phil, you've got a bit of a theme going here with these blue Tiranas. Tell us about this one.
The blue Tirana, yeah. Well, basically, this is an original LX November build, 77, just like the original A9X, and in its colour as well, open line blue. I thought we have to build it as a replica of the other one. I mean, if you saw underneath it, paint daub marks, the whole lot, very, very particular with it. So I've got to thank Ben for all the help he's given us through this, because I wouldn't do it by myself. It's a replica, and once again, it's stock. You just do it standard. I like it that way.
Well, we're with Phil's son here, Ben. Now, Ben, it's in the genes, mate. You're a bit of a petrol head yourself, I've seen, and this is your machine here. Tell us all about it.
Yes, obviously being in the genes of the family, Dad's raced for years, supported him through the years as gone on, and got into a little bit of go-karting, and a few years went by and thought, well, it's time to do a bit of an upgrade, and this car came up for sale in 2011.
So this was the ex-Nathan Pretty Future Tourer, was it?
Future Tourer, yes. And he decided to move on from it because he got V8 supercar gigs. So, and I actually got offered as a guest drive in Vic V8s, and Dad said, "Look, I've got your stroker there. You can have it back in if you like." Punch stamped me PB of a minute 50.5, but unfortunately lost all the bearings in the engine. So I had to park it and thought, well, we'll get it fixed and I'll go and have another crack.
Well, mate, well done. You're doing a fantastic job and great result.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, I'm Dennis. This is my 32 and I run Aeroflow.
Hi, I'm Paul. This is my Attack 56 and I use Aeroflow.
I'm Scott. This is Blaine Inheritance. Makes 1,700 horsepower and we depend on Aeroflow.
Hi, I'm Graham Cowan. For race-winning performance, I choose Aeroflow. Aeroflow, way to go.
Aeroflow, manufacturers of professional hose, fittings and a whole range of performance products to suit your vehicle.
To download the latest Aeroflow catalogue, go to aeroflowperformance.com. Proud supporters of the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars.
Damn, there's just no room under here.
There's no need to do this anymore when you can buy a Tough Lift hoist starting from only $24.50. With over 20 models in their range, including 2-post, 4-post, scissor lift, motorcycle and truck. They're great for storage too. All Tough Lift hoists have Australian standard certification and WorkSafe design registration. With an impressive warranty, in-house technical support and installation options Australia-wide, what are you waiting for? Check out toughlift.com.au.
I love my Tough Lift.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Kruger from On Track Accounts. Not only am I a racing fan, but I love my motorsport at every level. If you're a car enthusiast like me, come in and have a chat about your business accounts, BAS lodgements, or getting your personal tax ready. We're a small but dedicated team of enthusiasts, and we like nothing more than getting your accounts back on track. Find us at ontrackaccounts.com.au.
Tell us about the VS-SS. There's an interesting story behind that car, isn't there, Phil?
There is an interesting story behind it. It's totally a stock standard car. It's a car that we were looking for Jan back in 1994-95. She said, I'd like a white SS. I said, okay. So we're looking around and a little ad and training post. White SS, brilliant white, 9,000 Ks, Moorabbin. So I rang up, and who did I get on the phone? Russell Lingle. Didn't know for about 2-3 minutes into the conversation, and it was a car that was awarded to Larry, and Russell got one as well, and the dash was actually logo with the SS badge would be to his 1,000 winner Larry Perkins, 1995. All of us went up. Ben was only this high, carrying his little blue Matchbox car case, and we bought the car off Larry. Then Jan didn't want to use it much, so we wanted to keep it sort of pride of place. So we sold it to Dad. Dad just paid a little loan out on it, and he took it over. He passed away in 2004, and we've kept it in the shed ever since.
Phil, we've got a very angry LJ XU1 here, mate. Tell us about this car. I know a bit of history about it, but I'm going to let you tell the story. I do love it.
Yep. Well, as you know, I've been talking a bit about the standard cars. I like them standard. Well, this is the hotted up roadie. Like, it's just, you got the Webbers, your big camshaft, bit piggy to drive. It was a road car, right through to its time. Even when I was racing it, and your dad, you know, way back, you went around the track with your dad, and we put the Webbers on. You guys encouraged me to go Group 2E club car racing. We did that, and then went a bit of Group NC. And then I realised it was getting a bit serious, and I thought, might build another car, but we didn't end up doing it. But we've kept this thing all this time, and it's still running today, and it's still get that fix, still get that adrenaline. It's only the 6, but she's hot there. She'll pull 7,500, and it goes all right.
Tell us about the engine. It was called the Pig.
The Pig, it's just a flat tappet, big camshaft thing. John Taverner built this engine, and for Tony Diviak was drag racing back then, and I think he's still doing it now, but he's got a 308, and the car that this had the 6-cylinder in.
So it was a drag engine to begin with, not a circuit?
Not a circuit, never a circuit. The huge, biggest camshaft, totally unorthodox what you do in circuit racing, and it is very slow out of corners, but then when it gets up, does it rev?
Well, probably 20 odd years ago, I remember I was very lucky you gave me a drive of this car around Winton. I'll never forget it. The thing sent shivers down my spine.
You did.
At 8,000 RPM. You said, Glenn, rev it up, and I did.
Yep. And I remember watching it come through the S's and you were just fanging the bum around, you liked it.
Well, I've got to be honest with you, Phil, I am in love with this car, and you did mention that I might be able to drive one of your collection, and I was sort of hoping it might be this one here, but would it be a little bit too grumpy on the road for me to drive, or what are your thoughts there?
It hasn't changed from Winton, mate. I think it's been 20 years. So we'll see if you're still sharp.
I think I can dial into it.
Go for it.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome. No worries.
Let's drive this giant killer. Bring it on!
Honey, what are you doing out there?
Waiting on the next super blowout 3-day only mega sale.
You don't need a sale, you need MPD.
NPD's everyday prices are competitive, and our huge in-stock inventory and dedicated export department allows orders to arrive fast to Australia. National Parts Depot has quality parts for Mustang, Camaro, Chevelle, GTO, Firebird, Ford, and Chevy truck. Go online or email export@npdlink.com.
Working beats waiting.
A tough car needs a tough oil, and that's when you need Gulf Western Oil. It's Australian-owned, developed and manufactured in their state-of-the-art production facility. So no matter what you drive, you can be assured you're in the right hands for all your lubrication needs. Gulf Western Oil, the tough Australian.
That's music to my ears, and that's the sound of the symphony of 6 big trumpets. Dumping in all that fuel, sucking in all that air, those Weber carbs. There's nothing quite like it. It is intoxicating. It sort of sounds like the world's gonna end. It's dramatic. In fact, that's probably the best word for it, dramatic. And when it comes to the world ending, I do believe that the world would probably end for you if you were the car lined up beside this angry little Tirana. It'd take one mean machine to take this baby on, let me tell you. Let's slot it back a cock. Hear that music. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what makes life worth living for me. Oh yeah. There's just something about driving a little giant killer, isn't there? You know, the first thing I think of is the number one, Peter Brock, behind the wheel of one of these little machines back in 1972. He won his first Bathurst, made the car and himself iconic. And he certainly was, wasn't he? You know, you had Alan Moffat in his big, almighty GT-HO Phase 3, and that was a monster of a car. This little giant killer took that thing on in the wet at Bathurst and won. A time in history that'll never be forgotten. They say the name Tirana actually derived from the Aboriginal word to fly. They certainly did fly, didn't they? Now, Harry Firth was behind the XU1 project from the word go. Everyone was running their big banger V8s, except for Chrysler, of course. They had a very stout 265 Hemi. But instead of choosing the HG Monaro to race, Harry wanted a car that was light and nimble, with a potent little highly modified 202 6-cylinder in the LJ model and the smaller engines in models beforehand, and the light weight of the car, they were a stout little piece of machinery. When it comes to endurance racing, and that's what most of the racing was back in those days, over long distances, you can't beat low overall vehicle mass. It's far better on brakes and tyres, and if you've got the right power to weight ratio, you've got a winning combination. Sure, on some of the larger tracks with longer straights like Bathurst, Phillip Island, Sandown and what have we, the big V8s, they did drive away a little bit. But give it about 10, 15 laps in, when those guys were running out of brakes and the pedal was on the floor, the little Tirana, Brock and Bond, they just come on honing in there and kick some serious butt. That's what I call an awesome all-round giant killing package. That music that those carburetors make, I want to hear it, and I want to hear it all the time. It's good for the racetrack, but we've got to be a little bit careful on the road. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little squirt, is there? Oh, geez, it's just like medicine. It's a soother. Definitely a good soother for a headache. Might create one too. But I don't care, because I'm loving it. Now, back in the day in Race Trip, I have on good account from my friend Ian Tate, the legendary HDT mechanic, that these were making around about 240 horsepower at the flywheel. Now in a lightweight car that was somewhere around 1,000 odd kilograms, that was a very stout package. This one here is making around about 260 to 270 horsepower. It's in a very similar specification. These days in historic racing, they're making up around 330 horsepower with roller camshaft technology and what have we. Now that is insane power. The old 6-cylinder Holden engine dates back to around about the late 40s when it comes to design on the drawing board. So they're not a modern engine by any account. So they did an amazing job by extracting that sort of horsepower out of them back then and also in today's modern age. Still an incredible little engine, and they send a shiver down your spine at high RPM. It's a feeling that I don't think I can get in any other type of engine platform. You know, Peter Brock was a legendary driver, one of the all-time greats in Australia, and a wonderful person as well. He was a people person and had a lot of fans, and he gave them the time of day. And to think that we're driving a car now that helped put him on the map and show his driving skills off, with the opportunity that Harry Firth gave him to join the Holden dealer team, it makes me feel good, all warm and fuzzy. I really hope that he's up there looking down on us saying, Glenn, you know what? I know the feeling. I know the feeling, mate. What a fantastic collection this has been. A great variety of cars and a lot of fantastic memories for me. I've really enjoyed it. And the drive, well, it just blew me away. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Man and Machine.
Next episode on Man and Machine, it's time for some Mopar muscle. We take a look at some awesome examples from that epic 60s and 70s period, when muscle cars were big, bad and powerful. This one will be amazing. Man and Machine is brought to you by Highflex Mobile Hose Service, Shannons Insurance for Motoring Enthusiasts, and the following sponsors.